everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shayla. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are joining me, you're probably coming back for part 2 of this video, which is embellishing the pages of this little mini game card journal that we made in the last video, and of course to sew in your pages. So we're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to try to be efficient with time. So let's see how good we do. Okay, so of course, you know, if you are decorating, you can decorate your journal in any form or fashion that you want. You don't have to adhere to anybody's rules. It is your journal. But I'm just going to show you some different ways that I will be decorating this journal and give you hopefully some ideas. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first part for the signature page, you can always leave it blank, which kind of gives it a nice little finish, but you could also decorate it. And I actually happen to have this little book plate. Of course, it is too big, so we'll cut it down and we'll add some cute little embellishments. And when I'm working on pages, I like to decorate them before I sew them in. So if you ever want to, you know, whip out your sewing machine and sew around the edges, you can totally do that because it's not sewn in. And also too, it just kind of helps if you can remove a page and just work off of this single page versus this bulkiness. So, all right, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And if you don't know, Ex Libris is, I think, Latin, and it's like from the library of something along those lines at least. So I think these are kind of neat if you can include one in the beginning of your journal, because then someone can write, you know, their name on it. You could write whoever's name you're giving this journal to if you're giving it to someone. So there we go. I am going to take some Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo, just kind of ink around the edges. To me, a journal doesn't have to be incredibly perfect. It is a labor of love, and I'm sure if you're making one, you've probably realized that. But I'm going to put this right in the middle, and I'm going to kind of skew it a little bit so it's a little crooked, like that. I'll take some glue. You don't have to use this glue. I'm using the Beacon 3-in-1 glue, but you can use art glitter glue. You could use a glue stick. I always think it's interesting. Natasha from Treasure Books always uses like an Elmer's glue, which, you know, like, not that I'm a glue snob, but I just would never think like that glue would work. I don't know. Maybe the formula is different where she is, but I feel like my glue's not like that. All right, and I'll zoom in just a little bit so you can see better. So there we go. Put that down. It's looking a little plain. So I'm going to take some cheesecloth, which is what this is. And I love this stuff because you can manipulate it to be like super, you know, super stringy or not stringy. It just looks really cool, right? And then I have this cute little flower die cut. Oh, there we go. And so I'm just going to take my cheesecloth and kind of just like hodgepodge, you know, make it all cute. And we'll just lay it down there. And then I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to glue right here. And get a good amount of glue on it, because this will be holding the cheesecloth. And I'm just going to set it down here. And this kind of gives it a nice little different like texture element than just paper on paper. It's amazing the things that you can use in a journal. Cheesecloth. Cheesecloth you can dye really easily as well if you like to do tea dyeing or coffee dyeing. So there you go. And it just gives it like a little extra flair. Cheesecloth you can find in most grocery stores. People use it for cheese making and things. It's like a very fine strainer, if you will. So there we go. First page done. Now on the back, I'm just going to add some writing page. I have this little scrap of, I think this is like from a Stino notepad. And I'm just going to tear it a little haphazardly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Tear, tear, tear. Just like that. There we go. I want to make sure it fits. Okay, it's a little big. Let's just tear a little piece off here. All right, let's see. Okay, so it fits there. It doesn't really pop though, so I am going to have a little spare scrap. I'm going to take some Distress Oxide, and we're just going to ink around the edges. So yes, if you're ever in, you know, a thrift store or something and you see like fun little notepads or things, be sure to pick those up. They make great little either signature pages, or you can use the lined paper as an accent to a page. So I'm giving it, it almost looks like it was burned, right? Kind of cool. And now when we put it on our page, it pops just a little bit more. Get that color in there. There we go. Super cool. Okay. So we're just going to glue that down now. Okay. All right. And we already have a front and a back page done. Now this page I'm gonna leave blank, and the reason is sometimes I just like leaving some space blank in the event that somebody wants to create something inside of their journal. They have the space to do so. So we're just gonna move on. And actually I meant to say I'm gonna leave this one blank because this would technically be the next page. But before I leave this one blank, and someone could collage on top of this, I think that is so cool. I am going to reinforce this page because it is a little brittle. And I like to reinforce my page with washi. So this is just washi tape. You can find this at most craft stores. If you are a planner person, you might already have this in your arsenal. And all I'm gonna do is take this. Isn't that cute? And I am going to put it, move that out of the way, right in the middle here. Right in the middle. And all that does is just kind of reinforce your page. So just like this. And I'll go ahead and fold this over and we'll just cut this little bit off. Okay, there we go. Cut that piece. That piece. So now we have that. And you can also do it on the inside too. So why not? We'll just make sure it's really sturdy. And same thing, I'm just gonna kind of stick it down the middle. And we're gonna refold it. And the great thing about washi, I definitely think it should be something to have in your craft space, because it's really good for like temporarily holding papers together too. If you don't want the washi, you can just peel it off. So, but it is sturdy as well. So there we go. It is nice and reinforced. These pages won't crumble, so that's great. So we have that. I'm gonna put this in the middle. We're gonna leave that page blank. Now the next page is just this kind of plain page right here. And so I'm actually gonna put just like a little something on there. And I have these cute little storybook. I cut these out from a vintage Mother Goose book. I have these little storybook characters. I love this one. And then this one's cute too. Although I think he's holding like a beer and cheese. I don't know. That's a strange one. Let's see if the cat fits. The cat would fit, but its tail. So maybe what we can do is we can cut. I can put it up here, but I can cut this little tail piece off. And then I also see I need to trim or fussy cut it a little bit more. Just like that. I also am going to do some inking because, you know, why not? Just to make it look a little more aged, as if it probably doesn't look that way already. And then let's kind of figure out where our placement is, and we'll glue it. And since this is old, I'm just being kind of careful that I don't break off a little cat leg or something. Okay. Place that down. I think that looks good. All right, and then we'll cut this part off. So there we go. And that's all you need to do. You could add, you know, a word or a quote or something, but you totally don't have to. It is definitely just your preference. All right, so we're gonna leave this part blank for the inside for now. And we're gonna work on to the next page. And I'm just trying to do this in order of the different signatures. So this one is this page, which is actually an envelope, and it opens on both sides, so that's something to note. I'm going to turn this into a little belly band. If you don't know what a belly band is, it is literally just a strip that you put on both sides and you just glue, you know, the top and the bottom, or if you're doing a belly band this way, the two sides, and that's it. And then so that way you can tuck things either this way or this way, and it kind of holds it like a waistband, if you will. So I'm going to take, I have just this paper right here. And this is just a little scrap. So I'm going to cut this. And we're just gonna freestyle cut it and see how that goes. Surely I can cut just a small straight line. Okay. That looks pretty straight, right? I think so. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just going to, oh, look at how perfect that is. Yay! That usually doesn't happen in my crafting. I'm just gonna ink it then. I don't have to trim it or anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna put glue, take that off, on just this side and this side. So just a little tiny strip of glue right here and right here, just like that. And then I am going to put this down in here. Just like that. So now let's say, for example, we have, I don't know, let's just pretend this is something. You know, you have this space and you can tuck stuff in here. So this looks a little plain. So I do have, this is part of a cluster that I made, and I'll kind of show you. I never finished this book. I might have made a video on it. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video. But this is just a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And I just made these little scrap clusters out of it. And you can see I've used some of them. And here's some more that I made. And this is just made out of scraps that you have. And it is on a scrapbook paper. This is a great way to use up scrapbook paper that is not really your favorite, because it just becomes a nice little background piece. So that's where I got that from. And so I have this one. So all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of take this, and I'm just gonna, you know, rip it out, I guess. There we go, just like that. And now, see, I can put it on there, and I'm just gonna glue it right down there. But I think I'm gonna ink it because it looks just a little, it's a little too white, if you will. We'll just kind of make those edges a little more aged looking. There we go. So I'm just gonna put a strip of glue down here. Not too much, and then we'll just put it on here. You can put it a little crooked, but see, now it's like a nice little focal piece, and you can still take, let's see, I know I had some little tea cards here. You can still take something like this. This is a vintage tea card, and stick it in the middle like that, and it's still a belly band. It just has a cute little decorative piece. So we did that one. So we're gonna keep moving on here. Okay, here is the next page. So this page, we are gonna do a little die cut, which I did have something I wanted to use. I actually really like this rabbit, and I think he would look super cute on here, so we're gonna do that. I'm wondering, do I do it this way? Yeah, I like that way. So we're gonna change the orientation. These are just washi stickers that I thrifted a while back, and they look kind of like, you know, kind of transparent, but when you put them on a page, it really kind of like brings them to life. So we're gonna put him down, and you'll see what I mean. So there we go. Isn't that super cool? So it's good on its own, but I'm gonna add a little word or something to the top. And let's see. I think we could do, I have this like fun 3D word. It's like 3D. I'm gonna put a little extra glue, especially when you're thrifting like old stickers and stuff. Sometimes a little extra glue is needed. And then we're just gonna put it right on top here. So again, this is one of those things where it'll add bulk to your journal. So maybe, you know, so that's why you add less pages, so you can do more fun like little decorating things. But there we go, we have that page. I actually really like how that turned out. I think it's super cute. Okay, so we're gonna put that one inside of here and move on to the next page. Now this page, let me move that out of the way. We are going to do the postage stamp border on this one, which is fun. So let me move this stuff, and I'm gonna bring out I have my postage stamps. So I'm gonna try and find just some cute ones, and I kind of just like to build it. So we have that one. There's this little thing, and if you notice, I'm kind of alternating, so like that one's kind of sticking out this way, this one's that way. We'll do maybe this little fun one that will kind of stick out that way, and then maybe just this one at the bottom. Okay, and it's okay if they overlap. So there we go. I'm gonna glue these down really quick. So put a little bit of glue. And we'll do a little bit. This right here. Okay. And last one. All right, super simple, easy as that. I will say, so when you flip over to the other side, you're gonna see that. So I like to go on the other side and cover that by doing the same, literally the same exact thing. So let me find some stamps. So we'll take this one and I just kind of match it so that way it covers up most of that space. So okay, let's pick out another one. This fun little earth stamp. And you could definitely color coordinate this so they could all be purple stamps or green stamps or, you know, whatever. There's that one. Okay, and then the last stamp. Trying to look for a good sized one. One's a little big. That one's a little too small. That one's gonna be too big. It's a little too big as well. Okay, maybe this one. This one seems like, yeah, that one will work. Just trying to find ones that have the relative same size. Okay, so there we go. We have this little page, super fun. And this is fun too because it kind of sticks out on the journal. It's kind of like a little interest spot. So we have so far these. So see how it'll look on the edge. That's kind of fun. And then we're moving along to this one. This is the little time card. I am gonna glue the sides here, so I turn those into like actual pockets. So put just a little glue on each side and smush that down. Hold it there for just a second. Okay, and then now all we have to do is decorate. So I have this little guy. I think he would be super cute, or her. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just putting some glue down there and put that there. And that just gives a little bit of decoration. And then there's definitely still a pocket there, so you can take, I think I put in here, we'll go ahead and put one in. I have these mini playing cards. Put that in there, and there you go. Super cute. All right, and then the middle page, let's see. We are going to do, I'm just thinking here. Oh, the middle page should be folded like this. Okay, I was like, I'm confused. Okay, so the middle page, right here, I'm gonna do a little collage piece. So I pulled some things for that. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So I pulled a few things to do this part. And I'm gonna move these out of the way for now. So I am gonna put, this is a sticker. I actually got these stickers from Journal Say, which is a fabulous little scrapbooking brand I've recently found out about. I did a collaboration video with them recently. You can see more about that in my videos. I have a fabulous referral code on there if you're interested. But yes, this was one of the things that I had picked out, and I used these in my journal. I really liked them, so I'm not very good at getting the stickers off, but okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna start peeling the backing, and we're just gonna put it down. put that down there. Okay. And where's my scissors? I lost them. There we go. All right, so I cut that off. I do see it was a little uneven, so I'm just gonna cut it because that will bother me later on. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. So we have that right there. And then now I took this cute little die cut and I'm gonna put this die cut on here. However, I'm gonna take some paper. This is actually from a vintage medical dictionary, which is kind of cool. A little weird, but kind of cool. Weird for this journal, but you know. And we're just gonna kind of do a little collage. Something super easy. And I'm just gluing that, nothing exciting. Okay. Alright, maybe one more little piece here. I think that's cute. Just kind of wanted to plan out where I was going to put that. All right, so we have that. But it needs a little word or something, so I do have some words here, and I'm just gonna move this extra paper off to the side. Maybe we'll do decisions, maybe days and months. I kind of like that one. That's cute. And I'm gonna put a little extra glue on the sticker. And then that way too, you can leave a little bit of space. If someone wants to write something, they totally could. But there we go. All right, so far we've decorated half of our journal. And now we're gonna go back and decorate the other half. So just a quick little flip through here. Some pages we did leave blank. Remember, this one is a belly band and it also has a pocket. Oh, we have this cute one. The postage stamps. We have our little time card pocket, and we have our collage. So now we're flipping back through the other way. We're going to take this page, which is our middle, and we are going to do, I have a little cute quote sticker somewhere. Yes. I have this little sticker. Again, I got this from Journal Say. This was another thing that I had selected. I love these. These are so cute. I will say for the Journal Say, it's very affordable. Like I said, shameless self-plug. You can watch my video. There is a referral link in there if you're interested. I'll get you some money off of your order. If anyone has any tricks to get these off. Okay. All right, so I pulled the sticker off. Here it is, it says Be the Sunshine. I'm just gonna put it, hopefully, center in there. There we go. And I'm actually gonna make little lines on this one. And you'll see what I mean. So I just have this fabulous Sharpie pen. And I'm gonna make some just fun little like squiggle lines that, you know, someone could theoretically write. So there we go. Super cute, very easy to do. You could do little dashes or dots, whatever you prefer. But there we go, I gave some writing space. Okay, now moving back, so we have this one. We're taking this one now, and let's see here. We are going to do a little quote in this one. I'm actually going to put something in this pocket. So I have this cute little quote here. And you know, I'm looking at it, I might need to grab a different one because I need something that has a little bit of an edge. Let's see. We'll do this one. I have these fun little quotes. I don't know where these quotes are from. I did thrift these, but they're super cute. I'm gonna cut this little edge off. And you can make your own tabs. I am gonna use my tab punch for this. I'm just gonna fold it. So let's see. Fold, and then we'll do another fold. I just wanna see where it fits. So it's just gonna fit like that, which is perfectly fine. And then we're gonna make a tab for that. And I could just make it out of this pink that I have left over. But really any scrap paper in this punch is kind of not great, so really gotta push it. But, and this one is a McGill, I'm gonna say tab punch, but it makes you a perfect little tab. And let's ink that up. Just like that. And I'm gonna put some glue on both sides. Take my quote, and you could do like any sort of just cute little paper. It doesn't have to be a quote. I want to make sure don't cover like the name or anything. There we go. So we have that cute little thing, and it kind of is like, okay, you know, pull this out and then it becomes something. But this is a little plain, so I'm going to take a little stamp, and I have this little cute, I don't even know what these stamps are called. A Judith stamp. I'm pretty sure that's probably who it belonged to, but I'm just going to do some cute little hearts. There we go. Just to give it a little something. So there's that. And we can put this one, this is the middle. Yes, so it goes like this. Okay, so that one's done. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one, let's see. We are gonna do a Timmy doll, which is the Tim Holtz paper dolls, if you're not familiar. I have it kind of sitting over here. Okay. I picked her out. She might be, I was gonna say, she might be too big for the page, but I think she'll actually be fine. And then I also have this really fun vintage, like, composition notebook handwriting paper. And if I I don't use it, I never will. So I have to use it. But I'm gonna just kind of make it maybe like that. And then we'll put her here. And I think that'll look good if she's just like that. Okay, now before I glue this down, I'm going to ink it. Just so it pops on the page a little more. Okay. And I just want to get it into position here. Perfect. All right. Now we're gonna put her on. Sorry if you can't see. I'm trying to stay in frame. Okay. And there she goes. Okay. So there she is. Super cute. You could add some extra stuff if you wanted to. Like, you could add maybe like a little pearl. I think that would be cute. I'm just gonna use this glue for that. Maybe we'll add one like right here. We can add one more somewhere else. I'm trying to add one like right here. Oh, there we go. And it just gives it a little extra something, right? So we have that. And this one will go right here, actually. Okay. Now the next one, let's see. The next one I think I'm just gonna leave blank. I think that was, we're gonna leave this side blank anyways, so. Because we want to leave some pages blank, so, you know, whoever gets this has some opportunity to make it their own. After that, we have, so this will be this page. I think I'm gonna turn this into a little collage page, and we're gonna make a small tag for that. So I actually have this. I love this little image here. So I'm gonna take my tag punch, which is this one. This is a Fiskars, I believe. It looks like Fiskars, yeah, Fiskars tag punch. And I am going to attempt to turn this into a tag. All right, let's see here. So I think maybe, oh no, okay. I see, and that's what happens sometimes. So I'm gonna just go in with my scissors and we'll cut the rest off. I know you can't see, but that's, you're not missing anything important. So there we go. Cut that. And here is my cute little tag. I don't know if this tag is actually going to fit in here, so I'm just gonna check it. So it's a little tall, so we're gonna cut it down just a little bit. I think that'll do it. And I'm gonna ink the edges. And then I am gonna put an eyelet in this one too. Doesn't really matter which kind of eyelet you use. I'm gonna bring my crocodile back out to punch a hole and put a eyelet in here, just like that. All right. And then now I'm gonna take, I just have this lace, I think this is seam binding, and I'm just gonna take it and put it through here, pull it through. And I am careful when I tighten this because this paper is flimsy. I don't want to rip the top here. So I'll just pull it a little bit. And then I just like to trim it. So we'll do a little trim at an angle. And there we go. We have a cute little tag that will fit perfectly in here. And I like that it kind of has, you know, it sticks out just a little bit for interest. So now we're just going to decorate the inside here. And I'm actually just going to use this little collage-y type paper that I just have. I think I'm just going to put that right there. Not really thinking about it, right? Just decorating. Put this down. Sorry if you can hear my fan, by the way. I didn't realize it was so noisy. Hopefully you can't. But if so, it's my fan. There we go. Super cute. And then I think maybe we'll put, maybe we can put her. She's kind of fun. Maybe we could just put a quote. Maybe we'll just do a quote. I feel like that might be good. Let's see here. We could do, here, this one's cute. Every road should have a path, but I'm actually going to cut it so each word will be separate. It'll be like every road maybe we could do should have it gets tricky when it's like a one letter. Every road should have a path. So I'll make that a little more even. Okay, I fixed it up a little bit and I added this just to match here. So now we have a cute little collage and we can stick that in there like that. Super cute. Okay, we are almost done and then we will put together our journal and make a little charm for it as well. We just have a few more pages left to go. So for this next page here, we are going to do a little butterfly sticker just to keep it interesting. I love sparkly. Again, I have these cute little butterfly stickers. Got these off of Journal Say. You know the drill. I'm actually just trying to use the things that I have, so. And if I can ever get a sticker open, then that would be great. Seriously, if anyone has any tips on how to not make me fumble with the stickers, that would be awesome. Oh, I see it. Okay. All right, so we have this cute little sticker and I am just gonna place it. Ooh, it's gonna kind of cut off. Okay, maybe we're gonna try and save that sticker. I'm gonna grab another sticker. More stickers to the rescue. Okay. Let's try and find one that will fit. This one fit. It's also a little big. I wanted a sparkly one. Maybe if I like tilt it. There's a cute little moon one. We could do the moon one. What do we think? Wow, that's really sparkly. I'm doing my last little look through. If not, we'll just do the moon one. And this one. Ooh, let's do that one. That one's cute. Okay, we found our replacement sticker. Now I get to fumble with the sticker again. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna put the sticker right in the middle. There we go, and it just creates some interest. It doesn't look like much, but when you're actually flipping through the journal, it becomes its own thing. So now we have this one, and I think we're just gonna keep this one blank. This is another one of our just blank pages because it has a lot going on already. And then the last page, I wanna make sure I let people know that yes, it was me that made this, in case anyone is ever showing friends or family. So I'm actually gonna grab my stamp. Here is my Bubbie Bean stamp. I know I'm so official. And we're just gonna put a little stamp on here. Hope that got it. All right, there it is. So there we go, and that'll be the last page. So at the very end, they'll have an extra amount of like writing space, but also, you know, I want to make sure that that's dry. But also they'll know that it's from me, so. All right, so now we can put together our journal and we're gonna sew in the signatures. So I'm gonna grab some thread and we'll be right back. Okay, so I went and I grabbed some different threads. I decided on this one. I think this one's really cute and it'll match the cover. And I did grab my little pokey tool book. I know this book looks terrible. But it's better to do that and protect your desk because these guys are sharp. This is what's called an owl, AWL. This is a bookbinding tool. This is a very just standard traditional one. If you have the crocodile, you can use the crocodile too. I'm just gonna go with this one because it's handy. And so for this, I'm gonna make sure my pages are all lined up. You want to also make sure your pages are the right orientation. There's none that are upside down or the wrong way. You just want to make sure that it flows nicely. And I'm gonna say that it does look good. One thing I will do is I will take out this tag while we are punching our holes because I have accidentally punched through a tag that's been in a pocket before. So I'm just going to make sure these are nice and in the right spot. They're at the bottom. And I am going to, so pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and punch my holes here first, and then I'm gonna line this up and I will punch the holes, you know, where this is. So, or actually, let's do it the opposite way. I did that way the first time, and while it worked out, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I'm gonna find my middle. Okay, make sure they're nice and in where they are supposed to. I'm gonna take a few paper clips, and this is just to hold my pages together. So we have one there. Take our other paper clip, put that one here. So there we go. That's holding our pages nicely and in the same spot. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna poke 3 holes. We're gonna do what's called a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go inside out. You can definitely measure these if you want to. I'm just going to kind of wing it. Looking here, since I have this up here, I want to make sure I punch somewhere down here. So I'm going to say we'll punch like down here. And I'm just going to kind of bend it and I'm going to go through the whole thing. Like that. You can see it coming out on the other end here. I don't want to make the hole too big, but you know, that's enough to where you can see it. And I'm going to do one in the middle here. Okay, same thing. Make it a little big, not too big. And then we're going to do one more kind of at the bottom. All right, so we have our 3 holes. You can see them on both sides. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the middle here. And I'm actually going to mark it. I'm going to use my Sharpie pen, my Sharpie pen. Line it up in the middle, or where you think the middle is. And then just make a little tiny mark in all 3 spots. And then now you can look at it and say, you know, is it actually center? Is it not center? It looks like my holes aren't completely center, but that's okay. I know relatively where they are, so I can punch it in the center of where they are. So we'll do that one first. And then this one second. And this is why you need the book. And then this one third. And now what I will do is I will flip it over, because the holes, you can't see them as much here, and I'm going to go back through the hole just to make these a little bit bigger, and that will also help my needle get through here. Okay, so there we go. We have our 3 holes. So now let's go ahead and sew our signatures in. All right, so I have my embroidery thread. You could use wax thread. Some people use dental floss, whatever tickles your fancy. And we're gonna count out 3 lengths of this. So 1, 2, okay, let's try that again. So we have, work with me thread, 1, 2, 3, and just a little to grow on. And I will cut that. And now we're gonna thread our needle. I am using a large eye needle. See, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit larger than your standard needle. The more traditional needles that people use are called darning needles. Which I do have those, but I kind of like this one because it doesn't make huge holes because of how thin it is. So, and we're just gonna thread this through here if we can. It doesn't really want to work with me. All right, come on. Sorry, I'm trying to thread it. Let me thread it really quick. All right, it has been threaded. Okay, so we're not going to tie it off or anything. We have our thread here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little bit like that. And it's important to just keep hold of it like this. So first things first, we're going to go through the middle on the inside. So go through the middle on the inside. Okay. And we're gonna pull it. And when we pull it, I'm gonna take this little piece and I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in here. We don't want that piece to come out while we're binding our journal. And now we're gonna take our cover from the inside to the outside through the middle. Okay. Make sure you're holding on. We'll scoot this up here. And these charms you can take off while you're doing this if it's easier. I'll just leave them on. Don't know if it's a great idea, but you know. So we'll pull it. Okay. So now we're on the outside right now. So I'm gonna come back through the top from the outside to the inside, and then from the outside of my pages to the middle of my pages. Okay. Oh, let's not tear that. There we go. Nope. Okay. We're coming through the inside here. So you just went from the outside to the inside. You want to make sure you pull it and it's nice and tight, not too tight, but tight. And then we're gonna skip this hole. We're gonna come all the way down and go from the inside to the outside of the pages. Pull that through. Okay, so now it looks like that on the inside. And then we're right here. We're gonna come from the inside of the cover to the outside of the cover. Pull that through. Okay, make sure things are kind of nice and tight. Pull them as needed. And then now we're going to come through here, go through the middle again, and then we're going to go through here as well. So, and it's okay if you're like, where's my needle? You want to make sure you get it completely in. And obviously this is tricky since we are on camera. It's a little farther away than my eyesight would like for it to be, but it's fine. Okay, so now I'm coming through this side. Important thing to note, so you have a string on this side of this middle side here. So I'm going to take this and put it to where my needle, if you can see my needle right here, is on the left side. Because you want strings on both sides, and I'll show you why. So now we're going to pull it, pull, pull, pull. We can take the needle out, put it somewhere safe. And you want to make sure before you do this part that your pages are nice and tight in here. So you don't want a lot of give. Like, see how that's like pulling? You can pull this, make it tighter, and pull that. So now your pages are kind of nice and in there. Now I'm going to take these out. We don't need these anymore. And since we have our strings on both sides of the middle thread, we can then tie a little knot. And I like to double knot. So we'll do one knot and then two knot. Perfect. There we go. Nice and tight. Now you can leave these strings and you can add a charm to the bottom of these if you want. You can cut them short. It doesn't matter because you've already knotted it. So now when you shut your journal, you should be able to open your journal and you have a super duper cute journal. How adorable is that? So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to make a quick little charm for your journal. And that is it. You've made a journal. So let me get my charm things and I'll be right back. All right, okay, so I grabbed a few things for charms. If you already have charms, it's very simple. You just put a charm on there. But if you want to make some charms, I can show you just some things that I have done. So I do have this cute little, I don't know, this is like, what is it, a bubblegum machine toy or something? 25-cent machine toy. So I'm going to just poke a hole in it. It's just very thin plastic. I'm going to use my owl for that. And just big enough to where I can get a jump ring in it. Just like that. Doesn't have to be fancy. maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, perfect. It has a little hole. I'm going to take my charms. We have our little journal here. We'll set that off to the side. And I also will need a bold pen. So we'll just pick one out. How about this little silver one? Okay. So I'm just going to take a jump ring. Jump ring. We're just going to put it through here. Might take a little bit of maneuvering. Oh, almost. Okay. Let's make the hole a little bigger. Seems like it doesn't want to go in there. Okay, perfect. All right, so there we go. One charm literally done. All I'm going to do is close this. And there we go. We have one charm. We're going to go ahead and put this on our charm thing so we don't lose it. Now the other charm is a little more involved. This is it's a looper, so I think it makes loops. So kind of like this. Let me show you. So see how there's a loop on the end? That's what this does. But I just realized I forgot a charm because we're going to use this to put another charm on. So we'll have to grab that. So I have some beads. This is my paper beads. So many paper beads. And I also grabbed just some blue beads. I keep my beads organized by cool colors, warm colors, and neutral colors. So I'm just gonna I kind of want one of these for like an accent bead, and then these will be the, you know, the filler beads, if you will. So we'll start with one of those. Maybe we'll do, try to look for a good little contrast here. Maybe we'll do this little square bead. It's kind of fun. And then let's get a, I don't know, just like a little fun bead. They're all fun beads. So we have this fun little red one. So you can do something like that. And then let's finish it off with maybe like a little fun funky bead. Okay? So now that I have that, I want to cut this off and turn it into another loop. So this goes through here. And then it just, and I will say this was an investment, but it's worth it because look at that. A perfect loop. So there's that. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. I'll do this one first. And then we'll put this one on. And then I can always add like a little dangly charm. But now we can put this. Let's see if I can get it in here. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to hit you there. All right, come on. There we go. Okay, so now we have a cute little dangly charm. All right, let's put our thing back in here. Perfect. So there it is. We finished a journal together. Thank you so much for watching this. I am excited that I was able to make a journal with you. I know this was probably a longer video, but I hope you stuck it through and maybe you made something great. And just remember, you could make something out of anything. This goes to show it. An old game card box we turned into a fun little journal that definitely would warm someone's heart if you gave it to them. I know I would like to receive a journal like this. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a like so I know that you liked it. And with that, I will leave you to it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and remember to always stay crafty. Bye.